Imagine walking across a continent with nothing but the clothes on your back and a fire in your soul. No shoes, no money, and no map. Welcome back to the Ascetic Settlers. Today, we are mapping the most incredible 12 years in the life of India's greatest wandering yogi, Shree Siddharudha Swamiji. In phase 1, we saw the divine child Siddhappa leave his home to find his teacher. He found his guru, Gajadanda Swami, and after years of service, he was given a new name, Siddharudha, the one established in the self. But then came the final test. His guru looked at him and gave a command that would define his life. For 12 years, wander every corner of India, heal the world, destroy ignorance, and return only when your mission is done. With those words, the 12-year-old boy stepped out of the cave and into history. If you are new here, we map the journeys of the awakened. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to join our spiritual pilgrimage. Now let's follow the footstep of the wandering emperor. Siddharudha's first stop was the crown of India, Kashmir. He climbed the jagged, icy peaks to reach the Amarnath cave. Inside, a pillar of ice naturally forms till today to represent Lord Shiva. While most people shivered in thick blankets, Siddharudha sat in the snow for 40 days. He didn't eat, he didn't sleep. He entered a state called Samadhi, where the mind becomes as still as the ice itself. Local monks were terrified. They thought he was a statue. But when he finally opened his eyes, they glowed with a light that felt warm than any fire. They knew then that a perfected soul, Siddha Purusha, was among them. From the ice, he descended into the dark, humid jungles of Nepal. A massive tiger was terrorizing 3 villages. It had already killed 20 peoples. The villagers were living in the cage of fear. No one dared to go into the forest. As Siddharudha walked the path, the bushes shook. The beast jumped out, yellow eyes fixed on the young boy. The villagers yelled from the trees, "Run, Swamiji!" But Siddharudha just smiled. He looked at the tiger as if it were a lost kitten. He whispered a silent prayer of love. The tiger's fury vanished. It stopped mid-charge, lowered its head, and rubbed its face against Yogi's feet like a house cat. From that day, the killer of Nepal became a protector guarding the village children. Continuing through the Gadwal Himalayas of Uttarakhand, he found an old Maharishi in a hidden cave. The old man was dying. His breath was shallow and his heart was failing. Siddharudha sat beside him and began the Shiva Pranayama, the divine breath control. He literally breathed life back into the old man's lung. In gratitude, the Maharishi revealed the secret of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Siddharudha now knew that the physical world was just a tool for the spirit to use. The journey moved east to Varanasi, the city of learning. Here, 100 elite scholars challenged him. If you are truly a master, prove that the soul has power over matter. They pointed to a massive stone that 20 men couldn't even nudge. Siddharudha walked up to it and with just one finger lifted it into the air as if it were a feather. The body is an illusion, he taught them. The soul alone has infinite power. Later, at the Kashi Vishwanath temple, a priest mocked his ragged clothes. But as Siddharudha entered the inner room, the whole temple was suddenly filled with the blinding golden light. The stone, the flowers, and even the priest's robes turned into glowing gold. The priest fell to his knees in tears, realizing that the god he worshipped was standing right in front of him. In Ayodhya, the Pandits demanded more proof. Siddharudha cupped his hands, and fire appeared. He struck a rock, and water flowed. He showed them that a realized soul is the boss of nature itself. He walked down into Andhra Pradesh, where a massive flood was drowning a village. Homes were being swept away. Siddharudha waded into the roaring muddy water and simply raised his hand. "Stop," he commanded. The river parted like a curtain, allowing the trapped children and villagers to escape to safety. They called him the Varunavatara, the god of water. Then he crossed the burning sands of Rajasthan desert. The heat was 60 degrees. The sand was like boiling oil. A local king saw Siddharudha walking, but he noticed something impossible. The yogi's feet were not touching the ground. He was levitating inches above the heat, cool and serene. The king begged him to stay and be his king. Siddharudha replied, "My kingdom is not made of gold, it is made of God." He kept walking, leaving the king in awe. In Tamil Nadu, a jealous man tried to kill him with cobra venom. Siddharudha drank the poison and said, "This tastes like a sweet nectar." He didn't even blink. The man was so moved that he became his first official disciple. In the thick forest of Kerala, a mad elephant had killed 12 people. Siddharudha walked unarmed into the jungle. The elephant charged, but at the last second it kneeled. The yogi mounted the beast, and they walked through the trees together in total peace. As the 12 years ended, he returned to Karnataka. On the road, he revived 7 people who had died from snake bites and accidents. In Bijapur, the king's only son lay dead. Siddharudha sat by the cold body for 3 hours. As the sun set, the prince took a breath and opened his eyes. The king offered his entire kingdom, but Siddharudha, the Emperor of Ascetics, just walked towards Hubli. He arrived in Hubli and touched the dry, dead earth. Overnight, lush gardens grew. He healed 108 lepers and turned a poisoned well into medicine. This was the start of the Sortur Math. On his final day of wandering, a cobra came to bite him, but instead it drank milk from his hand and became the guard of the ashram. Phase 2 ends here. The wandering yogi has become the spiritual emperor. But phase 3 is even more incredible. We will see him face the British Empire and change millions of lives. Tell us in the comments which of these miracles shocked you the most. Like this video and subscribe to the Ascetics at last. The map continues soon. Namaskar.